Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a penguin from my book. This is what pattern I'm going to teach you how to make. Alright, and it is an intermediate level. Alright, you'll need a 24 peg loom. Doesn't matter which gauge, you just need to use yarn equivalent. If you've got my book, then I explain how to do that. If you need more explanation, then you probably want to go look at my teddy bear revamp, and explains the appropriate yarns to use with the appropriate gauges. Of course, you will need a white yarn, an orange yarn, and a black yarn. If you're making it with the 24 3/8 inch gauge, then you will you can use scrap yarn. You don't have to have full amounts, but if you're going to be using the 1/2 inch gauge with a number 6 yarn like this, you'll need a lot more, okay? Particularly if you're going to E-wrap. I'm going to flat knit, but if you want to E-wrap. And always keep in mind, if you want to alternate the rows where you E-wrap a row and you knit a row, that'll also make the animal bigger. But I like making little miniatures, okay? So what we're going to start off with, it says for the body, we're going to do 24 pegs. We're going to be knitting circularly, and we're going to start off with a white. Alright. And the cast on it says to use is a drawstring cast on. So, lift that up a little bit. So you're going to do a drawstring cast on. And this is a fun, simple pattern, okay? Now you're going to just knit your way around. Okay, now it says we're 1 through 5 to knit. So all you're going to do is you're going to just knit around for 5 rows. Okay, let's go ahead and pause the video and just knit around for 5 rows. And when we come back, we'll be ready to start the next row. Okay, we finished our row 1 through 5, and we're ready for row 6. And you'll see knit 2, and then you'll see your feet. When you see this parenthesis section, please make sure that you have, whether you have a BOLB, bring original loop back or not. And if you see that, go ahead and pre-mark the stitches as you see me do here. And you know how many to pre-mark when you see how many that you're supposed to be working from, okay? And so you're going to be knitting 4 for 4 rows. So you're going to be working with 4, and you're going to do 2 feet right beside each other. So here is my first feet, my second foot, excuse me. So you have knit 2, then you have your first foot, then your second foot, and then knit 2, and then you're going to be changing into black, and you're going to be working this back section for the tail. All right, so what it says to do is just to knit 2. So we're going to knit 2, 1, 2. Okay, this is the most complicated spot in the body, I think, aside from the little wings type thing on them. Otherwise, this is the most complicated row. Okay? All right, so then it has the parentheses section that says feet. And then it says change color O, CCO, change color to orange. All right, so we're going to change our color to orange. And I am not going to cut the white. I'm going to show you a little technique that I do. Okay, so I'm not going to cut the white. I'm going to leave it there so that I'm not having to do a whole lot of cutting up, okay? All right, so next thing it says to do is to knit for 4 rows. So here's row 1. So you're just gonna toss those over. Excuse me, let's get that camera up higher. So there is row 1, okay? And then you're gonna do row 2, row 3, row 4. Then it says to knit 3. So you knit 1, 2, 3. Then it says to knit 2. 1, 2. Then it says to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Then it says to knit 4 for 4 rows. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then it says to bring the original loops back up, EOLB, and this is where you just bring them up, put them on the corresponding pegs that they belong on, and you'll see how fast this is. This is really fast to go ahead and pre-mark them. Then go ahead and take the markers off, okay? And then it says to change color to white and knit 2 together 4 times, all right? This is the reason why I didn't cut my white yarn. So I'm going to knit 2 together 4 times, all right? And you don't see me cutting the orange yarn because we're going to be doing another flip, okay? So here is one more. I'm just kind of snip that out. Okay. Now, then it says to do another foot, all right? So you do the exact same thing that it says. It says change color to orange right here. And you're going to knit 4 for 4 rows, all right? So here's row 1. And here's row 2. And here's row 3. And row 4. And it says to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Then to knit 2. 1, 2. Then to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Then it says to knit 4 for 4 rows. So here's row 1. And here's row 2. And here's row 3. And here's row 4. Then it says to bring your original loops back on. So that's easy enough. You just pull those back on, take them off. Look how easy and fast that is. I know it takes more time to put the stitch markers on here. Okay, and then you take them off. And by the way, if you're interested in getting a whole bunch of these, get them off of eBay. All right. Type in stitch markers. You get all kinds. All right, and it says change color to white and knit 2 together 4 times. And this is where I'm going to tie off my orange because I don't need it for a while. In fact, I don't need it until I need to do the head. Okay, you really can use scrap orange for this project, literally. Okay, all you got is your feet, and I just usually keep an orange around for stuff like this, minor stuff. Okay, so you've completed your foot, and then you're going to snip off your orange. Let's see if I have scissors close by. For some reason I don't. You know what? Anyway, you want to snip off the orange and tie it together, and then it says to knit two. Then it's going to say tail, change color to black, so make sure your black is ready next. Okay, I'm going to cut my black and we'll tie it off real quick. And I'm going to switch over to my white. Okay, and then this is where you're going to be doing kind of the half and half concept. Alright, and that's where it's going to be important. So even though you're switching to black, don't cut the white. Alright, no need to cut the white. Okay, so next thing's next. You want to add your black. Alright. Alright, so we're adding our black. And then we're going to be doing the tail section. Okay, so, okay, now, you see I've marked off half the loom because you're going to be bringing all those stitches back up to create the tail. Okay, so what we're doing to create the tail, it says change color to black, which we've done. You're going to knit 12 for 3 rows, then you're going to knit 11, knit 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Then you're going to work your way back up. So here's how this works. So what you're going to do is you're going to knit over 12. And so this is going to be row 1. Now again, keep in mind you can E-wrap this whole thing, make it a little bigger, make a nice big one. You can E-wrap the whole thing. You can E-wrap a row, knit a row. That'll make it a little bigger, but also keep the stitch work tight. I have been known to do that before. Okay, so we have now knitted 12 for 1 row. This is going to be row 2. Okay, and then this is going to be row 3, and this is where we're going to start counting down all the way down to 2 to a nice, beautiful point. And we're going to work our way back up. Okay. So this is row 2. And this is row 3. And here's where we're going to start doing our kind of weird section. Alright. And this is where it says knit 11, then knit 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. And it says to knit back up. Okay, so kind of like we did with the foot, all right, if you remember a little bit there. Starting with the peg you finished with, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then it says to knit 10. So we're going to count over there. We're going to count from the one we finished with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then it says to knit 9. So, starting the peg we finished with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it says to knit 8. So we're going to knit 8. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to knit 7. So here we go. Then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to knit 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to knit 2. 1, 2. Now we're going to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to knit 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to knit 5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to knit 8. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to get 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to knit 10. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're going to knit 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then it says to knit 12 for 4 rows. So here's row 1. You've just knitted a tail. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring our original loops back on all 12 stitches. Okay. because we're doing the half and half method. So go ahead and pull on that tail. Alrighty. Now we're going to knit 2 together 12 times, okay, to finish up row 6. And you'll notice that your black and your white are on the same side. This is on purpose because you'll notice that your penguin is half white and half black. So we're going to be doing the half and half color changing, and you need your colors to stay connected, okay? And that is the whole purpose of me doing it this method, all right? Okay, so once we get over here, that'll complete row 6. And if you've owned this book for the several years, the 3 years it's been out, I put it out around my daughter's birthday. Then you will see what I'm talking about, okay? All right, because what does row 7 say? Change to white, knit 12. This means you go back the direction you came to stay with the white side to prep to color chunking. Color chunking is the half and half business, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go up under and over. All right. And then you're going to knit 12, okay? Okay. Alright, and I think I might have found an error in the pattern because I already had it prepped for color chunking. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and move your way over, so then 12 back the other direction. So we've already prepped for the color chunking, and I need to make a note of that, okay, in the pattern. I apologize for the noise. I can't find time in a day to get quiet in this house ever until the French doors get added. And the French doors won't be added until tax time. So only then can I get quiet. So in the meantime, I apologize for the noise. Okay, so at this point, I need to add in that you also change color and to black and knit 12. So we're already starting the color chunking. Okay, so row 8 through 27 is 20 rows of color chunking, and it's basically what we just did, okay? You take the white up under the black, twist it, and then you're going to knit around your 12 on the white, and then you're going to knit around your 12 on the black, on the back, okay? On the black, sorry, which is back. Okay, so I've twisted. So the same color always goes up under and over no matter what when you're doing a half and half color chunking, okay? So you're going to do this for a total of 20 rows. So I'm going to kind of show you how to prep this, okay? So you're going to come back over and you're going to pick up your black, all right, which is what this means when it says to knit for 12, all right? So, here we go. Then we're going to go up under, and you're going up under and over. The white always goes up under and over. So that is row 1 of 20 rows, okay? So this will be row 2. So every time you meet back, it's a row. Here, it's a row, all right? So keep that in mind, all right? So this is going to be the start of row 2, all right? And then once I show you this, you're going to continue this process over and over until you have your 20 rows, okay? and then we will move on from there. Okay, now I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to pick up our black. We're going to knit our way around. Okay, so you're going to knit your way around. Alright, and the same color always goes under and over. And if you get confused and you get kind of tangled up, you can just untangle yourself. It's only 2 colors. If you're working with more than 2, then it's understandable. Okay, so there's your white. It goes up under the black and over. And it keeps you from getting truly tangled. Okay, so this is row 2. Now we're starting row 3. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and complete a total of 20 rows doing this method. And then when we come back, we're going to do row 28, which is going to include the flippers, all right, of our penguin. I have the head done separately. I can show you how to do it together if you just want to kind of do it all in one piece. You can, or you can do the head separately and sew it on. I'll show you a little trick with that, and we'll go from there. Okay, so go ahead and do 20 rows, and then we'll do the flipper row and go from there. Okay, as you can see, there's our feet. Here's the bulk of our body. All right, now we're to row 28, and it says flipper, and it says change to black and knit 2. All right, so I'm going to change to black, and we're going to knit 2. All right, so 1, 2. Then it says to knit 4, knit 2, and it's because it's in parentheses, it's a short row system, so you're going to knit 4 for 16 rows. So we're going to, because it says to sew up the flipper afterwards, you can literally go back and forth for 16 rows, but I don't want to sew. So I'm going to be actually doing a stitch marker for every slip, okay? And I'm going to skip that first slip. So this is going to be row 1. And then I'm going to start using my stitch markers for my slips for the 16 rows, okay? And this really makes it to where you don't have to do this sewing up business, because I find it can be a little annoying, okay? So you're going to put a stitch marker on every slip stitch, and then knit your way over, and then you're going to slip. Hold on, dude. You're going to slip that first stitch, and then you're going to put a stitch marker on it, and then you're going to slip, and you're going to knit your way over, and this is going to be row, let's see, that was row 1, 2, 3. This is going to be row 3. So keep up with what row, so this is row 3, all right? So pause the video and complete your 16 rows, and then when we come back, we'll do the tip of the flipper. Okay, I'm knitting row 16 now, okay, on this, and I'm not going to put a stitch marker in here, all right? Okay, so we're going to knit our way over. Now, a trick to make sure that your pull back up loop is nice and loose, when you do the slip, make sure that it goes up under the stitch marker rather than over it, and it'll give you a little extra pull, okay? So, you either have done the knit 4 for 16 rows straight out so that you'll sew it up later, or you're doing this method, okay? Now, I forgot to mark my stitches for bringing original loops back up. I'll show you how to do that if you forget. Always try to make sure to look ahead in your pattern if you're using one of mine for bringing the original loops back up so you know to mark them. Okay, so then it says to knit 3. So We're going to count this as the end one as 1, 2, 3. Then it says to knit 2, 1, 2. Then it says to knit 3. Make sure I write that right. Yeah, knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then it says to knit 4 for 16 rows. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring that first stitch marker and try not to lose your stitch. Just put it back if you can. Alright. So you put that on. Then you go and you put your stitch marker on. Okay. And if you want it to be smooth, you want to purl the two together. If you want it to have a chain edge, then you knit the two together. Okay, so it's entirely up to you. So you pull the stitch marker back on, then release that, and then knit the two stitches together. Like, there we go. And you want to knit the two stitches together. Okay. Then you're going to find the next closest chain to the pegs, place it on the loom, and then knit. I'm still slipping, but you can, if you're doing it the other way, you can just straight out knit 16 rows. Okay, and then there's the two stitches, knit the two together. Alright, you want to do the simplified version, knit for 16 rows. So I'm still slipping, I'm getting my next stitch marker closest to the peg and placing it on the loom. Alright, and then I'm going to knit over and then knit the two together. Repeat this until you are down to no more stitch markers, okay? And then we're going to bring the original loops back. I'm going to show you how to do that if you forgot to put your stitch markers on your starting stitches, okay? Alright, so pause the video, get that much done, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've completed all that, and now I'm ready to pull my original loops back up. And so what you want to do is you want to go to your previous, follow the line over, and this is your original stitch, which should be white. You're going to pull that up. Then you're going to go in and you're going to find the next stitch. Should be this. And pull it up. It's this one. Okay. So then you can go over here, and it's going to be kind of hard to see on the black. So there's your stitch, there's that. Your leg or bridge, and you're going to bring that up. Okay, so that is how you go in and you bring up the original stitches if you did not mark them. I would always suggest marking them. It makes it a lot easier rather than trying to fish for them, okay? So then you're going to knit two together 4 times. And then there's some special instructions, okay? So then what it says after you do your first flipper, you're going to change color to white, and you're going to knit 8. Okay. So pick up that white, and you're going to knit for 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now it goes to row 29 where it says change color to black. And what it says is picking up and heading back in the section for black to get to the other side to do the other flipper. So it says to pick this up, and it says to knit 12. All right. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so at this point, then it says to work the flipper. So basically, it says to knit 2 and then knit to 4, but when you work the other flipper, you're actually going to skip the knit 2 and just start working 4 immediately. And what I would suggest doing is going ahead and knitting your first row over and going ahead and it's saying complete the flipper and then tie off your white, but because we aren't going to need the white anymore, you can go ahead and take it off. So go ahead and knit the 4, all right? And take and cut the white and tie it off, all right? So we're going to tie that off. And I would suggest going ahead and putting a stitch marker on the 4 stitches to be brought back up. So here's our first one. Here is our second one. Our third one. And our fourth one. Okay. So when you go to do the other flipper, you're going to skip that knit 2 from that previous one and just go ahead and start directly into knit 4 for 16 rows. Okay. Or you can go ahead and knit your 4 and then start calculating and knitting 4 for 16 rows. Okay. Because at this point, we're going to do the other flipper, then it's going to be row 30 through 31, which is 2 rows. We're going to tie off the white, which we've already done, and then you're just going to knit for 2 rows for in black. Okay. And I'll show you how that's done, and then you have the option to just start on the head, or you can bind off the body and then start the head and sew them on separately, but I'm going to make sure that the head is done all in one, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and complete your other flipper, just like we did over here, where you do 16 rows, where you're attaching, you're flipping that end and putting a stitch marker on. You do it for 16, then you knit 3, 2, 3, and then start adding back, just like we did over here, just like we did. Okay, so that when we come back, we'll be ready to continue on, okay? So pause the video and get that much done. Okay, so we finished our other little flipper, and it would say to go in and cut off your white and then do 2 rows of black, okay? And because the body is supposed to be separate from the head, you can just go ahead and do 2 rows of black. But if you want to do the head along with the body so that you aren't having to sew anything on, go ahead and knit your way back to your starting point. This is not in the written pattern. This is if you just don't want to connect the head and the body later. You can just do 2 rows from that point and then bind off, okay? Alright, and it'll be a drawstring bind off, but you don't do it tight. Alright, so we're back to our starting point. Okay, so what we want to do is we'll go ahead and do 2 rows. So you go round and round twice. Alright, so pause the video and get that much done. And then what we're going to do, so that we aren't having to sew on the head, you're going to need to take a drawstring like this, cut a bit, okay, and send it through to drawstring the head in later for cinching that. And then we'll be ready to start the head, okay? Let's go ahead and do 2 rows. I'll come back and I'll show you how to go in and send this scrap piece of yarn through every stitch so that it can be drawstrung in later. Alright, pause the video, get that much done, and we'll come back and complete and start the head. Okay, I've done 2 rows, and what I want to do now is send this yarn that I've cut through every stitch so that I can cinch it down later in order to create a indentation for the head. Alright, so just just want to go in and repeat it where it's either through the bottom or through the top of the stitch all the way around. And pull through. And you want to do this with every stitch. Okay. And when you're done with that, we'll be ready to do the head. And if you're doing the head all in one with the body, we're going to have to skew it just slightly on our starting point so that we're sticking with what is written, because the head is being done separately. Alright, but it won't take much to skew it. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video and send your scrap yarn through every stitch, and then we'll be ready to start the head. Okay, I've sent it through all of these stitches, and you can see I'm going to leave it out like this. And so you can drawstring bind off, you can take all the stitches off and drawstring bind off if you so choose. And if you're going to start the head, you want to do 24 pegs circular. Start off with the white yarn. Go ahead and drawstring cast on 24 pegs. If you're not going to be doing the head separately, if you're going to be doing it in with the body, we need to get ourselves resituated, okay? So our ending point was here and we were going around this direction, so I'm just going to kind of wrap and turn that and toss that over, okay? And then I'm going to toss 2 over. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach my white here. Alright, and this is going to be our starting point. And if you need to, mark that peg as your starting point so you can keep up with it, okay? So we're going to take that all the way down, and then we're going to tie it off so we have our white. And then we're going to do color chunking, okay? Now, again, you might want to mark off that this is for new starting point, okay? So what it says to do is to use your black, change color to black, and knit 16. So you're going to knit 16 around. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure white doesn't get involved. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Then it says to change color to white and knit 8. So we're going to come over here and we're going to pick up our white. I'm going to knit 8. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's going to be row 1. Remember how we were doing this before. You're going to go up under and over when color chunking. Alright, so this is going to be row 2, so we're going to go ahead and knit our 8 stitches back. And we'll pick up our black and knit 16 stitches around. We're going to do this a total of 6 times. And so this is going to be row 2. Okay, so you're going to knit your way around 16 times. And we're color chunking still, so we're going to continue color chunking. We're going to do this for a total of 6 rows. Okay, so we've made our way around here. Alright, and remember that your yarn always goes up and under. Okay, so under and over. Alright, and you can choose to do the black first, you can choose to do the white. You just know that you're doing a color chunking section. Alright, so this is going to be row 3. 3. All right, so pause the video, get that much done, 6 rows, and come back and we'll start the next section. Okay, we finished our rows 1 through 6 on the head, and now it says on row 7 to change color to black. So remember that goes under and over the white. That goes under and over the black. All right, so you're gonna knit your 16 around. And this is a row we're actually going to do the beak. And then the row after this, it can kind of get complicated adding the section for the eyes in, okay? I'll show you how to do it. Alrighty, then it says to change color to white and knit 2. So 1, 2. Then it says to do the beak. Change color to orange, don't cut your white. Okay. It's just going to be going right back to it. Okay. Alrighty. So, like that. Change color to orange. Now, your beak is going to have a bring original loops back, so when you're going to be working over 4 stitches, because it has knit 4, so you're going to put a stitch marker on the next 4 stitches before doing the beak. That way when you go to bring the original loops back, it's really easy, okay? And then one more. Okay. Now, it says to knit 4 for 3 rows. So basically what we're doing is we're doing the feet all over again. Okay. So if you remember the feet, you can pause the video and go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to knit 4 for 3 rows. So there's 1, there's 2. And the illness has been running around the house. Okay, and here's 3. Okay. Then it says to knit 3, knit 2, knit 3. Okay. So what we're going to do, knit 3. One, 2, 3. Knit 2. 1, 2, and knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Then it says to knit 4 for 3 rows. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Then it says to bring the original loops back, which is easy. Just pick them up and put them back on. Then it says to change color to white. Knit 2 together 4 times. Okay. So you're going to knit 2 together 4 times. And then it says to knit 2, but what you want to do is you want to go ahead and tie off that orange because you're done with it. You're not going to need it anymore. So that's all you needed it for was the beak. So go ahead and tie off the orange. And then knit 2. And it says that you're done with row 7 and you're ready for row 8, 9, 10, 11. You're ready for 4 rows next to be doing. You're going to change to black. So remember, it goes up under and over. Okay. Change to black, and you're going to knit for 16. Okay, then you're going to change to white, and then it says to knit 2, 1, 2, then change to black, knit 4, and then knit 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from my outside strand, okay, and attach it. You're going to be doing a lot of twisting to keep this from doing a whole lot of separation, and there's a reason for that, because you can get a lot of gapping that shows up, and I try to avoid that as much as possible, because this is the face you're talking about, you're not doing something that's kind of minor, so this is kind of an important section. So I'm pulling from the outside of my skein. I would suggest a really small ball of black to do this section. And okay, so I'm going to knit for 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then I'm going to pick up the white and move it and knit 2. Okay. Then I'm going to go under and over, and you're going to repeat the same thing. And you're doing 4 rows of this. So this is going to be row 1 we've just completed. Now this is going to be row 2. You're going to knit 16, and I do apologize for the noise. You're going to knit 16. Okay, then you spin around and you're going to knit white for 2, 1, 2, and then white goes under, and you're going to twist that, and then you're going to knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And pick up your white and knit 2. This is row 2. Okay, then you're going to need to go up, under, and over. This is going to be row 3. Knit 16, I'm going to come around and pick up your white, knit 2. Take that white up under that black so it has a connection. And knit 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then pick up your white and knit 2. Row 3. Now we've got to do row 4. So under and over. 16. Rows. Okay. I'm going to come around here. You're going to pick this up. Knit 2. Send the white up under, because you're trying to connect it. Alright. And then knit 4. Alright. And then go behind. And you're going to knit 2. Okay. Now, at this point, you're going to be painting all black. So go ahead and cut you a small tail and leave your main black attached. Alright. And you can go ahead and tie off the white here. And as you go around, you can just tie it off. Okay. Alright. Then it says to knit from row 12 to 17. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 6 rows you want to knit. Alright. And I'm going to knit 2 here. And you can just go around for 6 rows from this point. Okay. I'm going to tie this off. Black off here. Okay, now there has been something that I've been known to do to tighten these up, and it's going and so I'll find the longest one, wrap it around the next one and up. Alright, and take and pull it through. I usually do this with a crochet, but this is a good one. Alright, because it's not a hat, I usually like it all nice and snug. Let me see if I can do this without crochet. I don't have one right on me. So then you want to grab, you know, send that through. You want to try to grab and pull, grab and pull, and then you can stick it up on the peg. Okay. What that does is it tightens up that area. This technique I've used a while, but I don't normally share it because it's not proper. But you can do that if you want to make it snugger. Okay. And generally, a lot of times you don't even notice that you've done it, even with this kind of color change. You don't have to do this. It's just something I personally do. Okay. Now you can start here if you like and do the 6 rows. Either way, we're going to be stopping over here when I do my 6 rows. Okay, so you can kind of see the little section underneath. Just go ahead and pause the video and complete your 6 rows, and then we'll be ready to finish off. Okay, we've done our 6 rows and I have stopped here, as you can see. And at this point it says to prep decrease. So basically you want to get every other peg empty. So I'm going to knit 2. Take the first stitch back. The second stitch you knit back 1. Toss the bottom loop over and move it over 1. And knit the next 2. Take that second stitch back 1. Toss the bottom loop over and move it over 1. Knit the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. Pick up that second stitch. Take it back to that first peg you just knitted. Toss the bottom loop over and move. You're going to do this all the way around, and then you're going to drawstring bind off. But you're not going to tighten up, okay, because we want to stuff first. Alright. So we want to do our stuffing. We'll close up the bottom first. Alright, so we'll close up the bottom, stuff, and then cinch and that kind of thing, okay? So when you drawstring off, do not close it off yet, okay? We're going to go from there, alright? We're working a little differently from the pattern because we've done our head along with the body, so we aren't going to be having to sew anything on. But if you chose to do the head separately, you're going to need to sew it on, and you can go ahead and close off the top of the head, okay? But if y'all are following along with me, y'all noticed it wasn't that much more effort to just continue on, okay? So go ahead and prep decrease, and then we'll drawstring bind off. Okay, every other peg should be empty, as you can see, all the way around. And then at this point you want to drawstring bind off, so you're going to go in and toss that bottom loop over after you cut your nice long tail. Pull through. And go in and toss the bottom loop over and pull your tail through. You're going to do this all the way around, okay? Alright, so go ahead and drawstring bind off, and then we'll be ready to start doing finish-ups. Now, if you have done this the way that it's written, you'll go ahead and close off the bottom and you'll do the star method, which I'm going to show anyway. So, and then if you didn't do the reattach as you go on the flippers, you'll need to sew the sides up. And then you can stuff the body, and then you'll need to stuff your head, but you want to add your safety eyes first, okay, before stuffing the head. And you don't cinch the eyes on this pattern like I do with a lot of the other ones. I just put them in there and then I stuff it after closing off the top of the head and sew it on. So there's a lot more sewing if you did it the way I had originally written. But if you're doing it this way, it's just as easy. Alright. Let's go ahead and drawstring bind off, and then I'll show you how to finish this up. Okay, so we're ready to finish up. As you can see, this is what it looks like all in one. So go ahead and pull that as tight as you can on the bottom. We're going to do the star closure method. Okay, what that is, you're going to go straight up and send your needle through. Then you're going to go down, just like drawing a star. And you're going to go over. Then you're going to go over. Then you're going to go back down. Then you're going to pull it tight. And as you can see, that finishes closing it off. Okay. And I'm just going to tie it off. And send that through. And then send it through the body. Okay. So I'm just going to send that through the body. Okay. Pull through. Shove that down there. Alright. You have closed off your bottom. Go ahead and stuff your body. I haven't added my eyes yet. Now, because this is straight up and down, if you have a stocking, you could go in and actually stuff it with rice or beans or anything like that. Okay. Like. Okay. So I'm going to try to stuff it as much as possible. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cinch the body. Alright. I'm going to tie that off. And I'm going to take the crochet hook and pull that into the middle of the body. Okay. I'm going to shove that in there as extra stuffing. I always like to do. Okay. Now, what you want to do is add your eyes. And I'm using particularly large eyes. And I'm using brown safety eyes. Now what I'm going to try to do is, because I knitted two, I'm going to try to get in between those two columns. Okay. And get it to where there's a little white above. So, like that. And then I'm going to add in my washers. Okay. I don't cinch my eyes on this pattern, so you don't have to either unless you want to, but I don't see much point in cinching for the penguin. Okay. So there's your eyes. Now you want to stuff your head as much as possible. Okay. Now what you may need to do is start pulling the drawstring in order to see how much more you need to stuff. Okay. And we might have enough. I might need to stuff just a little bit more than much. Okay, get in there. And we'll stuff a little bit more. And then pull. Yeah. Because you got those stems, you want to push those stems of the eyes up in there. Okay. There is your little penguin. You're going to tie off the top and you're done. So, show you how to do that real quick. And then we're done making our penguin. And this is how you make them in all one piece. Pretty easy. Okay, so let's finish up our penguin. You don't have to do the star method here. Make it twice. Some needle through. Okay, now I like to blow your excess polyfill fibers on. May need to take a lint brush to it, but there. There's your little penguin. That is how you make a penguin. And if you don't want the flippers to be up, you can tack them down, but I kind of like them up. Okay? Alright, there is how you make a penguin.